Drop the ball down.
All right. Alrighty. We are back. You are watching This Pink Cloud. It is a show on recovery and mental health. I am DJ Kelly Reverb, a.k.a. also an RSPS, which is Recovery Certified Peer Specialist. Yeah.
DJ Kelly Rever.
That's going to be fun, the whole show. But anyway, sitting in with me today. Oh, hey, be sure if you like to watch something totally disorganized and your head is like this, please subscribe to this show. And we're on all major streaming formats. So, whatever you're listening to is on, please subscribe. Also, especially the YouTube, because then you get to see how silly we look in person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
we should probably plug everything before we get to the content. You know what I mean? That way they just turn away.
There we go. Well, hey, since you're on screen right now, sitting in with me, he's running the board, which is a scary thing in itself.
Yes.
But my good friend and fresh out the state pen,
Ooh.
and
No.
not the state pen.
The
right?
county jail. Dude.
County jail. Fresh out of the county jail. Fresh out of county. Fresh out of Brazos. My good buddy and actually co-producer, Chad Lamons.
Yeah, dude.
How are you, brother? Yeah.
I'm great, dude.
That's what's up. Okay.
I'm great.
That's already old.
I'm magical, dude.
Hey, and then in with me all the way from Houston, Texas, is another good friend, which I actually met at a ceremony, quote unquote. But it is Max Paderewski. We call him Max the Axe on the show. Oh, yeah. And he has a domain called thispinklawyer.com. But we met at at a retreat and obviously hit it off. And you were like, I told you what the podcast was about, mental health and
recovery,
SUDs. And you were like, I'll sponsor it because I know,
no question,
right? But it was because wasn't your dad or you had alcoholism running your family?
Yeah, it was my dad. Yeah.
Okay.
He got sober. He was sober my whole life. Story that I know is just as long as I can remember. He said, I've reached my limit for lifetime on alcohol.
Right.
I've already crossed the border.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, cool. So, and then you're a sober enthusiast.
I would say so.
Say that.
I think the podcast does a lot of good for a lot of people. I'm a huge advocate. I think what you're doing here is great, and I'm going to support any way I can. So sponsorship it is.
Well, dude, and we love you, dude.
Man,
and you're
thanks.
a great dude. You're a great
Thanks.
dude, and thanks for sponsoring the show.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, sitting in across from me, the lesser Nye brand.
Yeah,
can I say that? Here comes
everybody's thinking.
Here comes the Val. Here comes the Val jokes because his wife was actually the young lady that interviewed me on my story.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
cool.
his wife.
All right.
So the lesser Nybran. We have downgraded Nybrans. No, but this guy is a great dude. Good friend of mine, Dirty Dan Nybran from Knucklehead Recovery. How you been, dude?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Just changed the new job not too long ago, so
yeah.
This thing makes me feel like I'm in jail again.
I get it.
Right. But go ahead and
Yeah, so
it's been a while. We've been trying to get you back in, and then you were working actually in recovery for a little bit, like a recovery, outlet or whatever organization, and then now you switched jobs.
I
and
was working
then
with Dusty. Then I went and was working with the homeless. With Metro Relief.
Okay.
But I ran into what some people call compassion fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
I just ran out of light to give, man. I had
Right.
to step away.
Right.
So I'm back to turning wrenches.
Right. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
There
Put it on
Kiss
or
it.
in your mouth. You know what I mean?
Kiss
That's
it.
generally how it works.
Hey, just kiss
Eat the
it,
mic.
baby. Kiss it.
Just the tip.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Just
Just
the
for a
tip.
second, just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
Just to see how it feels.
Mm.
Anyway, dude, but thanks for coming out, man. We've been
Hey,
trying to
thanks for
kind of
having me.
coordinate this for a while, and I'm glad we could get you on. But the man, the myth, the legend, my friend, it's funny because when you're in recovery, you don't. Well, you meet other people that are in recovery when you get into recovery. Because I had no idea you were a sober cat, but until I started posting stuff. Then you go, yeah, hey, dude, I'm sober too. Yeah, dude, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But you and I know each other from way back in the day. This is my good friend, Joe Walker, a.k.a. John.
Quit hitting his fucking camera, dude.
Okay,
And
sorry.
his name is Joe Walker, which is fucked up whenever you introduced him. So there we go, dude.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks.
Yeah, right. But Joe Walker.
Real good friends, huh?
Joe Walker and... Oh, I was making sure we didn't have our next guest coming in. But Joe Walker, hey, I appreciate you coming in. Why don't you, I don't know, why don't you tell like our story from your angle, from where we met?
We actually met over the phone. I was living up in Omaha back in 92, 93, 94.
Oh, you were in Omaha?
Yeah, and I didn't have any record stores up there. So I was having to call Bill's, and like they would play records for me over the phone. And
Hell yeah, that's Bill's Records, if anybody doesn't
that one,
know.
Yeah, that one. No, not that one this week. And it was either you or Kevin Keepers. K2.
K2, dude. Gotta love him.
Yeah, I dealt with you guys on the phone, and that was till I moved back here in April of 94.
Okay, cool. And so then you moved here April 94, and then where did we...
I believe it was at Bill's.
Okay, and we met face to face, and then you started coming out.
Then you fucking hit it.
Okay.
Literally, as I write,
hey, dude,
stop hitting the fucking camera.
Okay,
Then you hit it.
Okay, cool, dude. But
post.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe the next episode we'll move the camera, buddy, because I'm very animated with my hands. So we met on, like at Bill's, and then, but where was I DJing? Where were you DJing at the time?
I was trying to get on anywhere down here because I was just a small fish in a huge pond.
Right.
And all I want to do is just play some records that make some people dance.
Yeah, dude. And I love that, dude. And you totally, completely stand behind your hobby. And we'll get to some record shots of your collection because, and I put Record King under there because how many records do you think you have?
At latest count, it was 10,550 some odd.
10,553 and 8.
I gotta look at Discogs.
Right. No, yeah, you have a ton, but it takes up more room than your furniture.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Actually, when I lived with Brett Johnson, we had records like as our furniture.
Right.
Like two
Brett, are you name dropping, dude?
No,
Brett Johnson?
No.
I love Brett. Brett's a good dude.
Records and then a mattress on that.
Yeah.
And then part of our couch was like set up like that.
Part of your couch was the records with a foam mattress on top of it
couple
on
cushions.
the crates. Yeah, sorry about that. So then we've got that part of the picture, but then you're probably going to clubs and raves and all this stuff back in the golden days of rave, like 90s rave.
The early days, yeah.
And you probably started experimenting, taking some products that were advertised as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything seems fun at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, here, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, like I said, I was living out of town up in Omaha. I was in the Air Force at the time, and my parents lived down here, so I would come down like during the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I would hook up with some friends down here, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to this party tonight." And that was like when the Hazy Days guys were just getting together doing the Levee Street warehouse parties.
Yeah, Sean and all them,
Yeah.
dude. I love those dudes.
And then
was that Adam Hat Factory?
No, that was over on Levee.
Oh, okay. But I thought it was Adam Hat. They did a lot of parties there.
They did they did a few there. They did them all over the place. Those Earth parties out in the onion fields down south.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wow.
And then the Kind family was, I guess they were living in the same house with Sean and them, and they were doing parties at the Motor Street warehouse. And I mean, there was something going on every weekend here.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was off the hook, and it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun because it was like not all about I need 2,000 people to break even. It was just like, hey, dude, we're doing a party. Show up, and people did,
and everyone was welcome. It was cool.
Yeah.
So long as you had a positive attitude.
Right. You had a little plur in you. Peace, love, unity, respect.
I
dude.
actually didn't hear that till like maybe 10 years ago.
Right? You were like, what the hell's plur, dude?
For real. People are like, hey, plur this, plur that. I'm like, okay.
Right. So so you're going to these parties, dude, and what starts happening? What do you start experimenting with, and where does that go?
Well, up north they didn't have anything but like acid mainly.
Okay.
So and we tried we tried it. We were like enjoying it. And we were like, let's see how far we can take it. And instead of just like 1 or 2 hits, it was like, let's start out with a 10 strip and go from there.
Okay. Nice.
Good time.
Good
Yeah.
times.
They were.
So you're doing that, but then you move down here where
Right,
we have everything.
Right.
Good, right?
Well, yeah, ecstasy was huge back then. They had the
Yeah.
Scooby snacks, as they
Yeah.
call them.
The little disco biscuit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that was extremely fun. And I found out who was actually going to the house and that was pressing them up and
Oh, nice.
getting them at basically cost.
Nice, making them in their bathtub, making them in the grandma's basement.
No,
No,
they had
they had their own
they had it
house.
going on.
Yeah, right. All right. So you're doing this. So you're experimenting with this stuff. So how long are you experimenting with illicit drugs? Until
Quite a little while.
I mean, what kind of window are we talking about? And
It was probably half my life. So 20 some odd, almost 30 years.
right. So from like just before the '94
Well,
when you moved in.
Actually, like back in high school, we started out with smoking pot, like
Yeah.
like most high school kids do,
Yeah.
and drinking beers, and then from there, like I said, I joined the Air Force and like moved up to
Oh,
Omaha.
hold on. You joined you joined the Air Force. I guess you didn't put the part that you took LSD on your application.
Well, yeah, no,
Right.
I did it up there too. So
Right. Yeah.
made them door parties. a little more
Everybody
fun.
in the airport did it. Or
No,
Air
not
Force. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a few people.
Yeah. No, I got it. But
But like I said, yeah, that was the quickest way I could get out of Oklahoma was to join the Air Force. So, and they stick me in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm like, thanks, guys.
dude, upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Like,
about that.
That wasn't even a lateral move.
Yeah, that was definitely a lateral move. Sorry for those in Nebraska, but I'm sure people in Nebraska will agree.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, who knows?
But that's why I met like my friend Oscar, who got me into house music and techno.
Okay.
He was from Chicago,
Okay.
and he introduced me to this music, and I was like, this is what I've been missing in my life, and that was like acid house and stuff like that.
Right.
That really the drugs kind of enhanced the music.
And just for people that don't know, acid house is a type of music that was heavy on a 303, which is a TB 303, which is a Roland synthesizer, which
Actually,
is
it was a drum machine. It built as a drum machine at first.
well, no, actually, it was a bass.
Okay,
it was a
bass.
bass synthesizer. It was supposed to emulate just a slap bass or whatever, but they made a lot more than that. You and I know that.
Pierre and Bambi have started tweaking the filters
yeah.
and stuff.
So just the frequency and resonance knob, buddy.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, but that was the acid house, and that was big like 80s and early 90s, and then it moved on from there.
Right.
But but the whole time you're doing all these party favors,
Right,
so to
basically.
speak, and doing them for a long time.
Party favors.
What is like one of the as far as a story goes? Like do you have any crazy stories? Because we always like to have a crazy story in there, like maybe when you're hanging out, because you've been around a lot of famous people or a lot of big DJs.
Yeah.
So
A crazy story.
yeah.
Put me on the spot like that.
Well, it's no big deal if you don't have one.
um,
I've got one for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'll tell one for you.
I have several stories that were,
Yeah.
I had just gotten a new car up in Omaha, right?
Uh-huh.
We were driving to Des Moines to a party that was about 2.5 hours away. Middle of nowhere, car breaks down. Like owned it 3 days, breaks down, right? So
Okay, Des Moines, Iowa.
There's like
car
four
breakdown.
of us in my car
What's the temperature?
with a crated record. Oh, it's February.
Okay.
So it was cold.
Okay, all right.
So there's 4 of us in my car. So friends of ours who we didn't know they were coming to the party, like see us on the side of the road. They pull over. There's 3 of them in a Toyota hatchback. So they're like, hey, you guys need a ride? Like, hell yeah, let's get 7 people in this Toyota hatchback.
Dude, clown car.
We drive up there, right? We're partying, take some acid, and
I 7 people in a car.
yeah,
and-
but once we get there,
Okay.
we find that whoever has it, and I get it for everybody, and like, okay, here, let's do this. Party's winding down around 2:00. These couple guys started getting in a fight, and we're like, hey, no, we don't want that in here. We kind of we try to hustle them outside, the promoter and the security guys, and they immediately throw the promoter down on the ground outside in the snow. He's had like a little vest on, little jeans. It's freezing cold outside, and they try to arrest him for disturbing the peace.
Okay.
And because they just passed a law that say that you can't dance past 2:00.
The old noise ordinance.
basically,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
So they're all the kids are like, "Hey, no, stop that, man! You can't do that. He didn't do anything." The cops are like trying to keep everyone in the warehouse. So they start macing people. I had my video camera. I was like up above people's heads.
Right.
And they maced the video camera. I'm like, "Did you see that? They maced the
Right.
camera."
Fuck yeah,
Right.
dude.
Dude, so as they get him arrested, get him in the car, the promoter and the bouncer, then they start telling people, you can't stay here, you got to go. So everyone's like trying to hustle in cars. Remember, we didn't have a car because ours broke down.
Right. Yeah. You
So-
came in the clown car.
So basically, I see some friends of ours that we knew from up there. I'm like trying to jump in their car. It's cram packed. I'm like, have my legs hanging out the window.
Right.
And the cops are like, yeah, you can't ride like that. I'm like, take my records, come back and get me. I'm going to be at this hotel that was right next to the
Dude, I
warehouse.
love it. You sacrifice your records, dude.
Yeah,
First,
I'm
dude,
serious.
make sure the records make it.
If I wind up not getting in trouble or something, I'm like, make sure the record's taken care of.
Right.
I don't
dude.
want those in like
take
evidence or something.
Take care of my baby.
Right. So I'm like, come back and get me. Come back.
Right.
And get, I'll stay here.
Okay.
Somebody come back and get me, please. Somebody come back and get
Right.
me because I'm tripping balls. I don't
Yeah.
need to be down here. Like, by
Are you
myself.
outside or are you
Yeah, I'm
able
out-
to be inside?
I'm
at
outside.
this
Well,
point?
there's a hotel right next to where the warehouse was. So I'm
Okay.
like, I'll be at this hotel. I sit there for probably 30 minutes watching the elevators go up and down, like 'cause
Wow.
they're going at random intervals.
That's
I'm like,
always
"There's no
fun."
pattern to that shit."
Right.
But
There's
I you're like, you notice little things,
Right.
But they finally come back and get me. We go to the kid's house where everyone like went to for the after party thing, where everyone's like, God, what do we do now? I give the camera to someone in the car too. I'm like, take care of this. The guy was like, hey, I gave the tape to this girl's. Her dad works the news. He's the head of the news
Oh, so
department.
the video you recorded,
I recorded the cops.
the high
camera.
8 or whatever, was it on high 8 or
it was,
VHS?
It was VHS.
Oh,
It was old
VHS.
school.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like, we gave it to her dad because he's
Yeah.
he's news guy over here at Channel 4 or whatever. I
Right.
was like, okay, cool. Just as long as I get the tape back, which I never did.
Right.
But the Des Moines cops got in so much trouble over that shit.
Oh, for real? So did it make it on the news?
Yeah, they made it on the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
They-
Did they interview you?
No,
Are
they
you
did-
like
they-
a young,
they didn't know who I was.
Joe Walker
No,
on the
they
news?
didn't know who I
Bro,
was.
they maced me. And...
No, but yeah, that wound up getting them in big trouble.
Yeah.
So we go to this kid's house, right?
Uh-huh.
His mom shows up. She's like, I don't know who any of you are. Brandon, you get your shit. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes. Nobody better be here. So he gets kicked out of his house. We're like, oh, dude, we're sorry, man. We didn't mean to get you kicked out. What do we do
Right.
now? Let's go to Melissa's house. She didn't get to go to the party last night because she had to work. So we
Right. We'll bring the party to her.
Right. So we go over to her house, hang out there a couple hours, and then it's like, okay, well, we got to get back home. We jump in the car that we came in, the Toyota. It backfires and won't start. We're like,
Oh my God.
God. So, okay, everyone, how much money you got? We got to get a real card so we can get back, and then we'll figure out how to get the other cars back.
Uh-huh.
So everyone's like $5, $2. We scraped together barely enough money to get a rental car.
Sure.
Get back home. We're like, so what do we do tonight?
It's just like it just part 2. Yeah.
That's how we used to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 6 hours to St. Louis, 8 hours to Chicago, 6 hours to the Quad Cities, 10 hours to Minneapolis and Milwaukee. Yeah, and we would drive all night, party all night,
Right.
and drive back, and then go do it again the next night.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and that didn't get old for like what 20 years.
Part of the fun was getting to the party.
Yeah.
Because some of them were like map point locations where you.
Oh yeah. I remember that when they have the call this number,
Right.
and then
And-
you just randomly show up and
Well, half the time we didn't have a flyer for the party. We wouldn't,
yeah.
wouldn't have an info line number. We're just kind of like, no, it's in St. Louis. So we'd be
Right.
driving to St. Louis and just kind of exit the.
I had-
we're like,
I had one of
those
those.
around here.
I had one of those in Seattle. In Seattle, they actually put like in Tacoma, they put people in the back of a moving van.
Oh, yeah.
and then took them from the moving van to the actual party grounds.
We
So
did-
I was
we-
like, there's like 30 or 40 people in the back of a moving van and no lights or anything.
right.
It's like body trafficking and like or human trafficking, and they're just like it's about like 20 minutes away. So then there's all of a sudden, 1,000 people there, and then you've got to take them all back.
Yeah,
right.
we did
Which
that
I'm
at-
like, what?
We did at a spot over off of Loop 12. There's a
Right.
housing addition that never got developed, so they put some
Sure.
cement barriers in front
Right.
of the front of the entrance to it.
Right.
Well, we went and got a U-Haul van, and like we had people on walkie-talkies like a mile up the street, so we could tell if the cops were coming. And
Uh-huh.
we would just hustle people in this. We would shuttle people in the van from an old Kmart parking lot to around the barrier and like back over into the woods. Where
Right.
there was a big opening.
Oh, the woods
We
is
had-
always the best, dude. If
we had
you got the
const-
woods involved, dude, there's some shadiness going on.
We had
I
the
love
sound
it.
system set up
Yeah.
though. We had probably 200 kids out there, and the police helicopter came overhead like shined the light on us,
No,
like,
you got the ghetto bird
oh,
after you.
No, we're like, okay, bring the van back on the walkie-talkie.
That's funny. Hey, well, let's talk about like what you do. Like you collect records.
Yeah.
And you actually fly around and do this. So you're like
Well, so
you're like
you-
not just local. No. But I'm saying you fly around to go to
Oh, yeah.
record
Oh, yeah.
stores. So talk about that a little bit. Like tell me,
Um,
because didn't you just go to Gramophone
Yeah,
or
but
something?
I went to Gramophone, Reckless, Sugar, and Dusty Grooves. Shout out to the guys up there in Chicago.
Okay.
That was last month, beginning of last month, I think, because
Right.
they had a music festival up there.
Okay.
And I went up the extra day early so I could meet the tourists.
Oh, nice, dude. Well, yeah, and then just sit there and mindlessly go through records.
Pretty much all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm surprised you don't have blisters on your thumbs
Actually-
from crate digging.
You get the little slivers from the paper cuts on
There you
on
go,
the
dude.
cuticles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few of those like right now. As a matter of fact.
Right. But yeah, I guess if you want to, Chad, you pull up a couple of pictures of his record collection because it's insane. You said you had like 10,000 plus.
Yeah.
So if we get those up, but then also, so let's start talking about where, it kind of goes, off the rails for you. So you're doing this lifestyle for, I don't know,
Many years.
Yeah, like so 20 odd years of navigating semi-successfully LSD, MDMA,
prescription
and you.
painkillers,
Yeah.
Valiums, sleeping pills, pretty much anything.
So yeah,
we had 2 6-foot NOS tanks at one time, nitrous oxide tanks.
yeah. Well, there you go.
We
Wow.
actually set up a cash-only account with a medical supply company.
Right.
We take up a beat-up tank. They would give us a brand new polished
There
tank
you
full of
go.
medical grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was.
So you're doing all this like and for 20 odd years, but then what happens? What makes you change your mind? What
Well, I got tired of the pattern of behavior in myself. I was like, I would get paid. I would go to the dope house, get some dope, and then come back and hope I had enough money to eat on and pay my bills and like just survive until
Sure.
the next paycheck. And I was like, I'm done with this.
right.
And I said it in my mind that I'm quitting, and I was able to.
Well, okay, so let's navigate that a little bit. I mean, let's
Okay.
give that a little more attention. You were not only, I mean, you had it in your head that this was getting old and you were tired of it.
Right.
And that's a big part of it. Once you hit your own personal bottom or
Right.
what you think, or you just it gets to be where it's no fun. And you navigate that no fun zone for a good long while. And then it's like, okay, then let's quit. I mean, that's how it
Right.
was for me.
Well, yeah,
but,
like back in the day, we used to joke like the only thing speed's good for is keep you awake to go find other drugs.
right, exactly.
And then
dude.
it became work. Like you had to go find the other drugs. And it's like,
Yeah.
it-
See, and I love that you pointed that out because I always say it became my job.
yeah, basically.
So yeah, and I mean
You had to
once
work
it,
for it.
yeah, once it becomes your job, then it's not so fun because you're chasing that and it's just it gets redundant and it's like a treadmill,
Right.
And or like a hamster wheel.
And then it takes more, and then it takes more, and then it takes more, and it's like
Yeah, I mean it's fun for a while. Don't get me wrong.
everything's fun at first,
Yeah.
but then
It's-
it gets a hold of you.
Hey, I tell you what. Why don't you just do heroin 3 times?
Yeah, no.
Right, Dan? Because you could do that, right?
Yeah.
You could just do heroin 3 times and get the most out of it, and then quit, right?
Never worked for me.
But yeah, man, that's crazy. So, I mean, let's talk about what worked for you in recovery because, a lot of people either go to rehab. I went to rehab myself.
Yeah.
And then, as far as, rehab or then the other traditional way is like the 12-step programs
Right.
or cognitive behavioral therapy or whatever. I mean, what avenues did you try and then what avenues worked for
Well,
you?
I had a friend who was in recovery, and he said, "Get your AA book." So I went to Half Price
Yeah,
Books.
get a big book. Right.
Read it cover to cover.
Okay.
They were like, even the stories in the back, yeah, because I mean they're there for a reason. So
Sure.
But I read that completely, and then I went to a couple of the 12-step programs here around.
Yeah, sure. A couple of meetings.
in the Metroplex, and
Uh-huh.
they tried to pair me up with a sponsor, and I told them my story, and they're like, "So in the high school you did this, and in college you did this." I'm like, "No, we did this, and this, and then the next night we do this, and this," and it was like 3 different things, like for a whole summer, like just, and it wasn't the same 3 things either. It was like 3 different things, and 3 different things, and 3. It was like we kind of explored how far we could take that, and that probably wasn't safe for us, but
Right.
but-
Sure. But no,
And
but
I'm not
so
advocating anyone else do
so
that.
you're doing your AA action
Right,
or
and-
trying AA or 12 steps or whatever.
well, the guy who was they were sending me up to be my sponsor, he went and got the head of the program, and he came back because he was gone for like
the grand master of AA, dude. No, there is
The
The final boss.
There actually, just so everybody knows, there is no headmaster or
he was the
or
guy who
dude.
organized the group.
Yeah, there are facilitators of the group.
But
Right.
he went out and talked to him for like maybe 5 minutes, and the guy came back and he's there. So let me understand this. I'm like, yeah, and I told him my story, and I was like, and I read the book, and I've actually been around it again and had it offered to me, and I was able to turn it down. I was like, no, I don't need that anymore. And they're like, oh, wait, you're not an addict like us. I'm like, but you can still come to the meetings if you want. I'm like,
Right.
why would I come someplace you just said you couldn't help me?
Yeah.
When I'm looking for like, some help, some support.
I've gotten that too before myself personally. Where people will just go, like I was telling them my story about alcoholism, right? And then they go, and I told them, and I was like, I'm diabetic. I went to rehab and blah 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 because I couldn't quit. Blah, blah. And they go, oh, you're not a real addict. And I'm like, motherfucker, dude, that's what the entire big book is written about. So I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, that pissed me off. I mean, somebody tried to take away my street cred, and
But yeah, that's not a street cred you really want.
Yeah, no. But I mean, I'm just saying, dude. Like, I mean, I was an alcoholic.
Right.
Dude. I mean, it's like you're gonna try to deny me.
Right.
You know,
Well,
not like
keeping alcoholism.
Right. There you go.
Well, from that group, I went to a couple other groups, and I was telling them like, yeah, no, I read the book. I'm trying to do steps. I already made a couple of amends to some people that, oh, you can't do that till you have a sponsor. I'm like, and you're doing them in the wrong order. You got to do them in the order. I'm like, that might work for you, but I mean, if this is working for me,
sure.
Yeah, they're like trying to belittle my accomplishments. That I was able to do it on my own. So I was like, you know what? This doesn't seem like it's going to help me. And I took the principles of the book and applied it, and I was like,
I love that.
I did it myself.
See, I love you. You just kind of made your own,
pretty much
your own sobriety kit out of your own program.
Made the decision.
I think there's fantastic things in AA, and I think if that's a good fit for you, please by all means work the steps. But if it's not a fit for you, there is an alternative.
There are other games in town,
and you can stay sober.
Yes,
yes,
and the principles are still good.
Right. Yeah,
well,
for sure.
I remember one of the meetings, they were like,
hey, speaking of that, I want to get to our sponsor real quick.
Oh, sure.
We actually have a new sponsor on board, and I'm excited about this. This is actually a place called NeuroGlow, and that is NeuroGlow.com. NeuroGlow.com is actually a ketamine infusion therapy clinic, and they actually, hey, dude. I'm trying to, thanks. They are a ketamine infusion therapy clinic, and they actually, treat PTSD, bipolar disorder, all that stuff. So it's actually addiction recovery as well. They've seen some success with that. So they will, possibly it might be an avenue for somebody that's treatment resistant or suffering from PTSD or bipolar. And then also the other sponsor is our friend Max the Axe here, who came in from Houston.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so I know you've got a question for him, but I know you also want to, tell people why they should choose you as a personal injury attorney.
Oh, sure, man. I mean, gosh, personal injury law is such a great area of the law. The goal here is to convince or persuade the jury into understanding like how real people's pain is and how money damages is really the only way to make up for that pain, especially when there is no cure. Sometimes the neck pain's permanent. There's a lot of lawyers who advertise, but in the end, what matters is how much you're going to invest into every case, big or small.
Okay.
And sometimes even the small cases, you got to invest in. You got to bring the doctor and get his deposition, bring him into trial, and that costs money because you're taking away from the doctor. But that's a risk that you got to take if you want to shoot for the stars. So I'm hot off of a huge verdict 2 days ago.
Yeah, I heard about that, dude. So congrats on that, dude.
Man,
that was a grande paycheck.
Yeah,
which we will not discuss the numbers.
No, listen, I'm happy to discuss the numbers. I mean, here we go. This woman has this neck injury, and it's permanent.
Right.
I mean, no surgery or anything like that, but she's going to have it for the rest of her life. And the jury understood that it was worth $209,000.
Nice, dude.
For other lawyers who take this case, a lot of them just settle it for less. Listen, it's not a surgery, whatever. Just get it done. $10,000, I'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
But you take the risk. You bring the doctor. You show him what's up. And now she's going to be able to get the treatment that she needs for the rest of her life.
And you're going to be able to get that fur coat you've always wanted.
Yeah, right.
And your grill.
I get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction.
No, but it's all good. But the thing I love about you is actually you listen to people and then you actually see, hear their story and then actually, be able to advise them in a smart and educated way.
Yeah, I like to
Yeah.
think so, man. It's just taking the time with every case.
Well, anyway, but thanks for
Yeah,
sponsoring
thank
the
you,
show.
thank
I didn't
you.
know if you had any. Do you have any questions for
Dude,
him? or-
you mentioned briefly that in the Air Force you took LSD as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of glossed over that, but that to me, I was like, what is that about? You got
It was like a weekend, so I wasn't really on duty.
He was on weekend pass.
oh, okay.
I never did that at work.
Okay, good. You're not flying planes.
No,
like...
no. I was a communication navigation system specialist. Anything that had a wire going to the cockpit, I could fix.
Okay,
Nice,
man,
dude.
nice.
It's kind of funny that you're a DJ now. So you were DJing the planes.
Well, I had a DJ set up in my dorm room at the barracks,
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Different kind of warehouse.
basically.
Right? Yeah.
Well, everyone up there would have like the stereos in the rooms, and I was like, "Oh, I bet you I could outbass you."
That's funny. Well, so then back to your story. You were getting a sponsor that didn't really work for you.
Right, and like I said, I just made up my mind and stuck to it.
Yeah.
Because I was at one of the meetings, the same one that said I told them the story, and they said, "Oh, you're not to act like us." They're like, "You could either do this till you die, or you could seek a higher power." I'm like, well, "There's a third choice," and like everyone, like a couple hundred people in this room, like all looked at me. I'm like, "Oh shit, what'd I do?"
Right.
And I was like, "You can say no and mean it," and they're like, "No, we can't." I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, I feel bad for you guys because that's key and instrumental. You have to be able to say no and mean it if it's hot."
Right. Right. Well, so okay.
But a
So
lot of
and
people
then
say they can't. I'm like, that's
yeah. And
that's
so
sad.
so then you just cold turkey or
Basically,
medical
yeah, no, cold turkey.
supervision.
Nope. Just
Yeah.
cold turkey.
Okay. And then how did So I guess you weren't on anything dangerous. I mean, maybe the pills were dangerous as far as medical detox.
Right. But no, I
but
didn't really have any like withdrawal symptoms or anything like that.
Okay.
I was just I got real lucky.
you
I
were
think.
just done with that lifestyle,
yeah,
and then so you've navigated sobriety. How long now?
Oh,
I mean, I'm not
I'm not-
busting
I'm
you
not-
on
I'm
your
not-
sober
I'm-
date, but I mean, just
I'm
whatever.
not sure how many years, but
ballpark.
it's more than 8.
More than 8. Okay.
I don't remember exact. I remember it's May 5th is the day.
Right.
But I don't remember the exact year.
It's all good, dude. We're old, dude. It's all
Right.
good, man. But you've navigated that. Have you ever, because you're in that scene and you're partying and you're around people that are taking the pot, and drinking and casually doing this? Maybe somebody's on a little, E or a little Molly
Right.
now. But do you ever get that itch to
No.
go back?
No. Actually, I did a park party this last weekend
Uh-huh.
over at White Rock Lake.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of friends of mine. They had a vape pen. They're like, "Hey, this is really strong stuff." No, thanks. I'm good.
Yeah.
People are like, "Hey, you want a beer?" No, I'm good, man.
Yeah. But I mean, are you ever, because I find myself, a beer would be really nice right now. Just, a
Right.
beer.
And well,
But,
they say-
but
they
the
say-
$1 million question, can I navigate that
Right. Well,
successfully?
Just one.
they say in the big book that if you could have one and stop, then it didn't have control over you anymore.
Yeah.
But it's those people that
Well, so then
had to
I-
have the one and they're like, "Oh well, one didn't hurt. Let's
So,
take another one."
so then I need to go press my luck, then,
no,
is what you're
no,
saying.
No, only if you think you're ready.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, yeah. I put myself, honestly, I put myself in what I call the penalty box, dude,
Okay, that's
for
probably best.
drinking. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, because I just say, I've been an alcoholic for, or a heavy drinker, then an alcoholic for 25 years. So, what's like 5 years of not drinking? Let's give it a chance and see what sobriety has to offer.
It just gets easier.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, you don't have the cravings, you don't think about it really
Right.
hard, and if you're not around it, then it's not going to affect you.
Right. But that's
That's just me though.
That
I mean,
no, that's my hardest neural pattern to break is the whole being at the club
and
at
have someone,
DJing.
Hey, you're famous. Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, that, but just me, because there was the pre-gaming process.
Right.
Get a little loose, and then get a little looser, and then hopefully you don't black out.
Well, yeah,
But it's just weird. It's weird to say no to myself in those spots, especially.
Oh, watching people hear you say no to them.
Yeah.
They're,
Oh, yeah.
what?
They're like, what?
You don't want it? I'm like,
Is-
yeah,
is-
no, I'm good, thank you. They're
Is
like,
there something wrong with this guy?
seriously? No,
Yeah.
they act like there's something wrong with you.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'm good.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't believe it. Are you sure? You sure?
Right. Well, hey, Dan, I mean, you're kind of quiet over there. And did you have any questions for him? And be sure and speak into your mic because I can already see you're not. I already busted you. Yeah, there you go. Kiss it. Kiss it, baby.
One thing I'd like to point out, man, I'm a 12-stepper myself.
Sure.
So when people go to certain groups. Like if you go to a group and they start trying to qualify you, whether you're an alcoholic or an addict or not, I'd look for a different group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of different
Right.
groups.
So different groups have different personalities.
I agree. Yeah.
Most definitely.
It's funny. Yeah. Because there is definitely different vibes at different groups.
And
So.
there's a lot of people who go, there's one in Dallas. It's nothing but bikers and repo
Right.
guys.
Yeah.
And,
I like that group.
Yeah,
I need to go.
good crowd,
dude.
right?
I'm in.
And if Julie, soccer mom, went to it, right,
Then it might
she's
not
gonna
be a
get
good fit.
absolutely nothing out of it.
Well, and
She might get
that's
a
another
boyfriend.
thing. That's another thing I want to point out
she would
is
be
that
welcome.
people.
she'd be welcome.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah,
welcome
for
for sure.
Yeah, I imagine.
But another thing I want to
Have a
point out is a
sponsor
lot of
for nights,
people.
yeah.
A lot of people will go to like an AA meeting at a specific spot and then be completely turned off by the process.
And be like, this program's not for me.
Right.
No,
Which
that group wasn't for you.
sure, exactly.
Because the program works.
Yeah. No, and I think I always talk about it, but then also, it works, and it's okay if you just work cause I think like yourself, I work the steps out of order, but I mean, if I look at the steps, then I'm like, I did that, I did that, I did that,
And like
I did that.
like I said, I saw a person. I was like, hey, I did this to you. You might not know about it. I did it kind of, under the table, behind your back, whatever. I'm sorry, I did it to you. Can you please forgive me?
Right.
And they were like, you're doing it wrong. You have to have a sponsor with you when you do that. I'm like,
Right.
dude, I can say I'm sorry and mean it. And
Sure. Yeah. No, but I think that's crazy. But
Well, and the other thing, when he was
yeah.
telling his story about being in the Air Force, I was wondering, did you realize that their logo was aim high, not aim to get high?
but it was a way to kill the monotony in Omaha. 'Cause
right. There you go.
Joke time, dude.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, and speaking of that, so Chad, while we have you on, you got any questions for John? Any DJ questions, music questions,
Or Joe.
or Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but he goes by John Wang.
Oh,
This
was
DJ
my
John
bad.
Wang.
DJ
So
name, my
That's
bad.
fine.
Got
But
it.
thanks,
there-
dude.
that's
Good
fucking
looking
fine.
out.
Yeah.
Good looking out. I appreciate it. But
Yeah.
why do you go by DJ John Wang? By the way.
Well, when I moved to Dallas, I realized I was a nobody just like everybody else. So I was just like, I just want to play some records that makes people dance. So I was like, I'll just be a John Doe. So I was DJ John Doe, and then I put up my first record about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, I need to upgrade the moniker because now I'm a producer. I got my own record label. So I was like, I was talking to one of my old roommates. I was like, hey, what do you think about this name, this name? He's like, I think you should keep the John. And I was going off a play of words like John Wayne, the old cowboy
John
star,
Wayne.
the old movie star.
Okay.
I was like, but I've got to let the ladies know what they're coming for. So it was John Wayne, a new American hero.
John Wang, dude. So well, and it could be also your porn moniker or
Right,
your
yeah,
porn
there we go.
porn handle, like Phil Brickman.
Let
but-
the ladies know what they're coming for.
Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, dude, like that's crazy. I never knew that story. But so you said you produced some too. So this is like I don't really because I'm not a record head like you.
Right.
And but what are your releases or what do you have? Them
well,
on?
you're not gonna make any money off your first couple of releases because you're not known. It takes a few minutes to get established as
Right.
as a producer artist.
Sure.
I had my own record label. It was called Press Your Tracks to Vinyl Records
Okay.
because everyone
Okay,
was
okay.
going digital back then. It's like
Right. You
we still need
wanted
records.
to keep it pure, and that's what I love about you. You're a purist. So
I like to put my hands on things.
yeah.
Put your
I
hands
know
on
that.
records.
I love.
Oh, yeah, dude.
that is what I miss is like the
tactile.
tactility. Is that a word, Max?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
For today it is, yeah.
Tactility of vinyl and actually the branding of the vinyl because,
Right.
like with Lone Star, I got to do the whole red, white, and
Yes,
blue
you did.
Texas rep, thing.
And that was huge for Dallas.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, I hope, but I'm sure there was some haters in the scene, but whatever. I don't speak for all of Texas. Only the cool people.
Yeah.
I love how you asked Max if tactility is a word because he's wearing a suit.
That's right. Well,
I'm the vocab guy.
He's
Yeah,
the
dude.
lawyer, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
He will, dude. Any $20 word, dude. Max has got it, dude.
Yeah, 15 and above. That's what
Yeah,
I
right.
mean.
Exactly.
And I really love the fact that like you asked me if I had any questions for him and then immediately asked him a question.
Because I thought
That's
of it.
fucking cool, dude.
Well, I thought you were going to say something
It's
dumb.
really crazy how
I thought
the
you were going to
world-
say something dumb like you are now.
It's crazy how the world
But
works.
no, hey,
dude.
but if you got a question, seriously, hit him up.
Which Kelly Reverb songs did you actually like?
That one that goes doonch, 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 doonch.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah.
with the beat.
I don't know the name of it.
The
Yeah.
one with the beat.
That's really crazy.
I
No,
mean, he
but-
probably.
No, the Southside Reverb stuff. Wasn't that your first stuff with Southside Reverb?
Yes, I did Southside
then
Reverb
you did
stuff
your-
first and then that went on ESP Sun, and then I did Lone Star stuff.
Right, and then you did
and
some of
then-
that with Sergio, which was Kevin Keepers.
Yes, that was the big track, Fine Ladies Only.
Speaking of
That's
Lone
actually
Star, dude.
That's I do. I know. I love it,
Wrapping
dude.
it up. Nice.
But yeah, actually, the Fine Ladies Only song is the outro and intro
Oh,
to
okay.
the
Yeah, that's
to
right.
the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah. So fun fact. But yeah.
I think I have most of your catalog, and I had you sign it all too for me. So
Yeah.
up on the wall of fame at the house.
I know, dude. I made the cut, dude. It's big, dude.
for now.
Yeah, for now, dude. But
Wait till I find someone bigger.
once you get this off, you're like,
I think we got it now.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
in the
It's
top
like
10,000.
literally in the corner on the very bottom at like the
Like,
mediocre
yeah.
fame.
It's,
No,
it's the second part of the wall.
It's like it's in the bathroom behind
Yeah.
behind the toilet.
Yeah, that way you can stare at it every time you piss.
No, down on the floor so
but
it gets pee residual on
You
it.
can't get in the bathroom because the humidity will break the seal of the sleeve up.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Gotta
Yeah.
be thinking about your collection.
But the
Yeah.
enzymes of the urine keep it stable. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what it's all
That's
about.
what we say.
Little Windex
I like
on
it.
there.
Well, cool. So, but any shout outs you want to give, dude? I appreciate you coming on and just showing your point of view that you can be sober. You can take certain things and put them in your sobriety toolbox, and it can work.
Where there's a will, there's a way, definitely.
I love it. Yeah. No, but I just love people, that their story, there's no specific way you got sober. You just had enough, dude. You hit your
and
bottom.
like I said, what worked for me that might not work for everyone else. So,
Right.
I mean,
If you could give a young you advice, let's hear that advice.
don't let Tiffany get away.
Yeah. Oh no. But I mean as far as I know, but as far as like using,
don't
have fun, but not too much.
well, no, don't put yourself out there like you're the man. Someone comes to you, hey, can you give me this? Can you give me
Right.
that? No, I can't.
Right.
Instead of like, yeah, I probably know someone who can get that.
Right.
And start like calling
Try
up.
to maybe
Making connections.
separate yourself.
Most definitely, yeah. 'Cause,
Cool.
I mean, the scene can be fun sober. I mean, I've
Right.
done it for several years now, and I had just as much fun.
Right.
And I can remember most of the nights.
Yeah, no,
the fucking
and
kicker.
that's another thing. You're always out there in the scene. You're at every party still.
I try to get a lot of them, but
you're at a lot of social events.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but and I love it. And then you're out there enjoying what you loved initially, just minus the substance.
Right,
So
right.
and it's working for you.
so far, so good.
So far, so good. So, but yeah, any shout outs you want to give? Or?
Anyone who's ever come support me, thank you very much. Anyone who's ever put me on a lineup, I truly appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah.
because,
And a lot of
yeah.
people don't realize this guy is like is totally good dude and totally supportive of everybody else. He's like one of those.
I try to be.
He's like a cheerleader for everybody else. But he's also got talent and he's a good dude. He's a good human being and I love the man.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
So thanks for
Right back
coming
at ya.
on.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and then thank you guys for coming out, and Chad, thank you for sitting in on the ones and twos. And
Great job.
yeah, dude. And I guess all you guys will come back next week for the next one. We actually have a good friend of mine, Dawn from the Phoenix, coming on next week.
She's awesome.
And she is a great person as well. So I'm excited to have her on. And I guess we'll see you all next week. But remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety because if there was, we would all take too many.